Utaha 先輩。
Hello, 大家好 and Utaha fan. It's time for another AmiAmi video where I rank the top 10 Bishoujo figures of the week into a tier list. This week we have a lovely Nikke figure as well as return of optional feed park and horror Bishoujo figures. The list is captured as of April 6, afternoon Japan time. First up, we have Mizuki from Genshin Impact, a 1x scale, so not a large figure. Pretty nice pose so far. And then she's holding on to a tray with some milk, serving it to you. The paint job could be better, there's not enough shading. In terms of the costume design, it looks lovely though. Just wish the paint is better. So I would say it's an okay figure, so C tier. Then we have Ganyu from Genshin Impact, a very tiny figure looking pretty cute here. Not sure what she's holding there. Pretty passive pose. The back does look kind of cute. Shading looks better than the other figure earlier. Expression is nice. Side feel looking good, and then I guess that's a kind of a little dragon or some sort. You also get a different hand piece. So an okay figure, too tiny for my liking, so I would say another C average one. Then we have Yamaguchi Harley from Raffle Tag. This one definitely a different vibe, giving a very cool looking vibe overall with the lovely red and black jacket and the baseball bat. So it's a articulate figure with the shade. She looks pretty cool and chill here. Very lovely pose. Yeah, you can really do a lot of dynamic pose with her. The faceplate is pretty fitting for a character. Yeah, I love the different pose of her. Selection of faceplate is decent. And then you also get a gun there to go along with the baseball bat. So you got quite a few pieces of faceplate and hand pieces. So pretty nice. Not a bad articulate figure. I would say B tier. Then we have Nikke Bay, a 1/4 figures from Freeing, not a bunny for a change. This one is a cheerleader looking very cute and very sexy as well. Love the front impact here in terms of her melons and coconut. Like how the way her hair is flowing. Good paint job here. Fantastic sculpt. Love that squishy thing here for sure. And then if you're into armpit, this one is definitely for you. Yeah, really liking how they sculpt her hair. Back shot is fantastic, right? Just look at those gorgeous butt cheek here. Yeah, can't get enough of those back shots. You can even see a bit of her side boob there. Yeah, very lovely frontal shot as well of her under boobs. Very lovely shot again. Wow, look at that tiny skirt here as a cheerleader. Fantastic here. And then here's her next to the other girl. So what not to like, right? I would say a pretty good cheerleader figure. So A tier for me. Then we have a bunny. Very tiny one, articulate figure from Shushan. Not familiar with this manufacturer. So interesting with how they painted it. Looks a little bit shiny here. Not a fan of that face. She does have quite a few weapons, looks like. Yeah, and then the shield looks pretty nice in terms of the design. Different faceplate to showcase her in different actions. Yeah, here's her with some bottle of whiskey maybe. And then it's her doing some more action pose. Yeah, they're really contrasting her with the action and the other action, I guess. Lovely shot of her back. Love the winkle eyes here. And the base is kind of interesting. You get this kind of irregular shapes. Quite a few accessories. Love the shield though. I think that's well done. Hard to say and rate this one. I guess it's a list above my expectation. I'll put her B tier. Then we have a Succubus last year phase 2 from Snail Shell. This one also come with optional foot pieces for feet, which will come later. Again, those articulate figure, they're doing a pretty good job hiding the joint, even though she looks pretty skimpy, right? Backshot, unfortunately, because of the joint, doesn't look too good. But front shot, I think they did a fantastic job, kept keeping her looking very sexy with the horn and the red hot calf cover for her lovely melons, looking fantastic here, and then the little cloths covering her promised land. Love the two-tone shade paint job they're doing. Eye decal looks good, and then she's taking out a rib. Wow, look at this. This is just a fantastic shot of her coconut, and then you can take off that piece of cloth, revealing her Panzu. And then here's her next to the other girl. They can really have some interesting action together. More fantastic photo and sexy photo of her in very seductive pose. Here's her holding a book, and then in a commanding pose. Come at me if you may. Yeah, pretty nice figure. Another good one from this manufacturer. So I would say B tier. Then, of course, we have the optional feed part. I really think they should have just included it, but I guess maybe some people are happy with just the default feed part. So we're in for a lot of lovely food pictures. Wow, this one also showcases her back and the bottom. Yeah, they really know how to do product photography of figure feet, right? This manufacturer, look at those. If you're into that, I guess you are in heaven already right now, looking at all those beautiful photos of the feet. Yeah, from different angles. Like, wow, okay. I think you get 4 different pieces for a cheap price of just over 1,000 yen. So what not to like, right? So yeah, hard to say. I think you should probably get them together with the figure. So let's say BT again. Next up, we have a horror Bishoujo figure again from Kotobukiya. Again, some of the horror Bishoujo doesn't really look that horrifying. She looks more sexy than horrifying to me, right? With this very sexy outfit that cut you right in the middle, showcasing her coconut. I guess she's a bad girl of some sort. A bad woman, maybe. The base design is rather interesting. Got a lot of pink variation there, so yeah, it does give a horror vibe with the base, like kind of a graveyard, but in terms of the figure herself, she is more like a sexy goddess, I guess, than a horror Bishoujo one. Love her tie here, very lovely. Yeah, very sexy. Photos of her from the top down, loving this angle that showcase her melon here. And then they change the mood a little bit. Yeah, facial expression is a pretty mature looking one, right? So you either like it or you prefer the more moe one. So personally, not a bad figure. I would say B tier. Then we have the original Priestess, Shibuna, which we talked about last week. So I'll just put her back into B tier again. Rounding up the top 10, we have an interesting Miku collab figure. I'm not quite sure what to make of this. I guess it's a pretty tiny figure. And it's one of those weird Miku figure where you actually don't see Miku face here, right? So I guess that's what the cover collab is about. They designed some kind of blanket to wrap her up. Very simple, not a lot of details. The back just look like a blob of something. And again, this is the illustration that is based on. So yeah, this is a strange one. It's not revealing it, and I don't think they execute it well. The idea is good, so unfortunately D tier. And there you have it. I'm not going to pre-order anything this week. How about you? Comments below and let me know what you think of the figure from this week and whether you like those optional feed park and horror Bishoujo figures. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I really appreciate it. Until next time, you all have a wonderful day. Bye bye.